Okay, okay. That is the biggest sigh of relief possible there. That right there is one of the biggest sighs of relief you could possibly get. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Do not let anyone fool you or tell you that the Cardiac Rangers are gone. The Cardiac Rangers were in peak form tonight. Rangers win 4-3 over the Vancouver Canucks. Wow. That was that was definitely the worst win of the season thus far. I don't think there's any denying that. Or just the ugliest win, I should say, because there's no such thing technically as a bad win. You get the 2 points and you run. But it was definitely the ugliest win. And if it wasn't for the Nashville game, I would argue this was the ugliest game from the Rangers this season thus far. But man, oh man, did they get bailed out big time by special teams. Their special teams definitely stepped up. Even then, I mean, the special teams was not perfect because they allowed the shorthanded goal. Cannot happen, especially with how bad that power play looked. This game should not have even went to overtime for that scenario. So I know Vancouver fans are not happy with the officials. Believe us, Ranger fans aren't either. And believe me, I'm not going to dispute the fact that that could have been maybe called a tripping there at the end of the game. But at the same time, the Rangers should not have been in a position where this game should have went to overtime because they should not have allowed a shorthanded goal. Or this shouldn't have went to overtime because the Vancouver Canucks should have scored way more goals than they ended up scoring. But before we talk further about this game, be sure to leave a like on the stream if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're a Ranger fan, and turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live on the channel. But again, this was just definitely one where you are just thankful they got the 2 points. I'm not really in the mood to hear the whole well, they played a good team thing. This was their first real test. On one side, I could get behind it if you're saying this was their first real test. They ended up winning. You take it, but they got to be better and they can be better. Fine. But some people are saying, oh, they're fake. They cannot stand with the good teams. No, the Rangers are a good team. And that's why I can't take the excuse either way that Vancouver's a good team. The Rangers are supposed to be better than Vancouver. You got to go in there. You got to control the pace of the play and you got to win it. And that's a thing that just was non existent for a lot of this game. And that's my biggest gripe. It felt way too much like Vancouver was comfortable, like Vancouver controlled the entire game. No, 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 no. That can't happen. You need to go in there and dictate the game. Cannot be the way that it was. Cannot be that way. But again, there's just I'm trying to even gather words right now because I had to sit on the sofa for a good 10 minutes after the game, which is why I started the stream a bit late. I had to sit down on the sofa for a bit to decompress after that. I'm still not fully decompressed. I don't know how to feel. I don't, because on one hand, I appreciate that they get the 2 points. And again, I said it in a recent live stream. I think it was the most recent post game. That is, you're going to have games where it's ugly and your goalie has to steal it for you. But I don't want this to be the norm because this was Gerard Gallant type hockey where Igor Shesterkin came up big and then special teams was the only way really they scored. They got technically one even strength goal, but even then, I mean, in overtime where there's more open ice. But regardless, let's get into more of the recap with this one. For the first period, this this was just annoying. So the fourth line actually had a very good first shift, which, by the way, they did not later on in the game, but they had a good first shift, and they were the first line really to get sustained offense. And I thought that it was pretty much what we saw last game, where the Rangers for the first like 2 to 4 minutes, okay, they actually looked pretty good. I liked some of their defensive play. I liked the neutral zone play, and I really liked the way they were breaking the puck out. They were also, as they were trying to break through the neutral zone, they were resetting a couple times, going back to the D. And it's like, all right, it looks like the Rangers are gonna, play their game, control this one. No, nope. Fox turns the puck over to Kuzmenko, who sets up Pettersson for an opportunity. But good defense by Philip Hedl there in front. But Vancouver got a very long offensive zone shift, and Jacob Trouba goes off for a roughing penalty. You could argue that was soft and that he was just clearing the guy out of the crease, but it is what it is. It's a penalty. They end up making up for it a few minutes later, but IGOR, huge save on Besser. Fox ends up getting it and clears it. Beauvillier was offsides, would have got a breakaway, but the penalty gets killed. So the Rangers end up killing that off. And then Joshua goes off for an interference penalty. Kreider ends up hitting the post on a deflection chance, which the Rangers hit a lot of posts. So say what you will about them not having a lot of offensive zone chances, and believe me, I'm going to rant about that. But they did end up having a lot of posts in this game. They did hit a lot of posts in this game. Roenick goes off for a delay game. Mika hits the post. Fox gets a chance from the side. That gets denied. But the Rangers would end up scoring on the power play as Keandre Miller breaks up a pass from Miller breaks up a pass from Mika. I don't know why I said Keandre, because JT Miller, Keandre wrote it in the notes as Miller. That's what confused me. But Miller breaks up a pass from Mika. Trocheck strips it, feeds Artemi Panarin. Artemi Panarin snipes it from the point to beat Casey DeSmith. Vancouver, where are my tickets? I guess the first goal scorer. Give me my tickets already. If you follow me on Twitter, you understand what I'm referencing there. But which if you're not, go follow me. I rant, talk about the game, all of that. Anyway, second penalty gets killed off. Not really a great effort by the second unit when they were out there on the ice, but must be a day that ends in Y, isn't it? And then, ladies and gentlemen, what happens every single Ranger game that if it was available on the sports book, we'd all be hammering to happen? The third line gets a good shift following the fourth line's horrible shift. And ladies and gentlemen, who took the penalty? None other than Vinny Trocheck, because there are three things in life: death, taxes, and Vinny Trocheck taking a penalty as he goes off for a slashing. Thankfully, though, the Rangers would end up killing it. Keandre Miller had a couple of big blocks on there. And I didn't really like during that PK, IGOR went to play the puck at one point. I think he should have just let one of his defensemen clear it, but regardless, they end up killing the penalty, so it is what it is. They got away with a high stick that was missed right after, so you take that. Schneider got undressed by Hoglander. Thankfully, he missed wide on a chance. But that's pretty much the end of the first period. I was not thrilled with the first period. Little did we know that that was maybe the Rangers' best period. I mean, it was way better than what we're about to talk about. Although you could maybe argue the third, but the third period, I don't even know what we're going to even say about that third period, because there was just like no even strength play throughout that entire third period. But regardless, the Rangers allowed 4 high danger chances in that period, and they got a big fat goose egg. They had nothing going offensively. I thought they had a good period defensively in the neutral zone. But anytime Vancouver broke through the neutral zone, were the Rangers in their own end for way too long. And that's really what the story of this game was, to be honest with you, is that the Rangers played decent, actually, if not good, in the neutral zone at points. But when that got broken through, it was very noticeable, and Vancouver really, really made them pay anytime they were not crisp in the neutral zone, and it ended up leading to the high danger chances. But you will take the fact that it's less high danger chances from what we've seen from the past few games. The first period, not the best, but you take it. You take it. I thought they were decent defensively, but the offense needed to be better. The first line playing way too much perimeter hockey, in my opinion, and the special teams, great, but the 5-on-5 needed to improve. Then you get to whatever the flying F that second period was, which I'm not thrilled about with that second period. Mika fans on a shot. Good opening shift. Lafreniere almost tucks one short side. Coley with a good play in the D zone. And then the fourth line steps on the ice and they couldn't get the puck out of their own end. And then for whatever reason, I do not know why, this led to huge, and way too much momentum for Vancouver, more than it should have. Bonino had 3 blocks in one shift. Igor made a big save on Susie, and then Bonino's third block thankfully ended up being the one to help them get it out of the zone. Beauvillier broke through the 1-3-1 pretty much all by himself. They were taking forever to set up in it. Trouba got walked there, trying to block a shot, even though Beauvillier was clearly going to undress him. Igor makes a big save there. And like I said, the first few minutes, good. The fourth line hits the ice. All of a sudden, the momentum goes the other way. Trocheck then interfered with by Lafferty. A power play comes up. Gustafsson with a great play. Trocheck interfered. Did I read that right? Trocheck? Was it Lafferty that got the penalty? Yeah, I read that right. Anyway, Lafferty gets a penalty. I don't know why I wrote this the way I did. I am all over the place tonight. I am sorry. Thank God this is the last late night start for a while here. But regardless, Gustafsson makes a good play. Shorthanded there on Mikheyev because Mikheyev had a shorthanded look. Power play did absolutely nothing. Lindgren blocked the shot from Mikheyev. He wasn't even looking at that, but you take it. Again, the D-zone coverage not crisp enough. And then the Rangers take a too many men on the ice penalty. Or sorry, was this the block where Lindgren wasn't looking? Because he had another block in this game. He had a couple, but he had another big one there. Igor had a huge stop on Besser too. Thankfully, Besser couldn't lift the puck, but it does not matter because it would end up being tied up at 1 as Roenick fires one on goal, and who else but the former Ranger, JT Miller, would tip that one in. Jacob Trouba needs to tie him up. Miller, terrible pass, and then Panarin goes off for holding. All of a sudden, it's a meltdown. Mika fires wide on a 2-on-1 shorthanded. Mika was just making me pull my freaking hair out so much. He made up for it, thankfully, but for the most part, I was pulling my hair out. Big kill. They get a good shift at the end of the period from the second line. Lafreniere almost buries one, but just it's hard to judge the way that period went, and just this game in general because of the mountain of penalties. You had what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You had 6 penalties from the Rangers alone. And then Vancouver had 5. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yeah, 5. So you had a total of 11 penalties combined in this game. It's hard to judge, but that was definitely the worst period the Rangers played. I really don't care what the analytics tell you, because the analytics tell you the Canucks only had 3 high danger chances. But the Rangers only had 1. Hey, it's better than last period, right? It's better than last period. And that was in all situations. 5v5, Vancouver had 1 high danger chance. It did not feel that way. That's my issue. It was 1 apiece, it says, but the offense needs to step up. I don't know where it was. The Rangers needed to step up, though, if they wanted to win the game. That's what I said. They had to have their best third period. They really didn't. But they end up winning, which we'll talk about, the third period in overtime, obviously. But I just felt with the mountain of penalties they took, they were lucky that the game was tied up at 1. I thought the D-zone play was definitely, it felt worse in the second period, despite them apparently allowing less high danger chances, which is bizarre to me, but that just tells you sometimes the eye tests and the analytics maybe don't line up. But like I said, Vancouver, it felt just dictated the entire game. The neutral zone play was just not good enough. And like I tweeted, I didn't want to hear that, oh, Vancouver's a good team. This is a real test. No. You need to be better than the Vancouver Canucks. If you want to be the best, you have to beat the best. That's the nature of the beast. And obviously the result ends up going in their favor, but I didn't love the effort. But third period comes along. The Rangers have another good start to the period. The Rangers did a good job. If there's one thing we could applaud them for, they had good starts to each period. It's just the problem is, where was it throughout the remainder of the other like 15 minutes of each period? But great start from the second line. Fox steps up in the neutral zone. Wheeler had a nice play in the neutral zone too. VC then goes off for tripping, and I thought, yep, this is going to be a momentum killer, isn't it? This is exactly what is going to kill the momentum. And you know what? Actually didn't really. I mean, Lindgren did a good job clearing the rebound in front of the net. Igor, huge stop on a deflection. Mika tries to set up Trocheck shorthanded, broken up by Hughes. Penalty killed. Wheeler, terrible turnover. Connor Garland ends up being stopped there by Igor. Great pressure by the first line. Kakko had probably his best shift thus far of the season on that play there. He was working the boards well. He looked like we saw in the preseason. He was looking for someone to get open. Nobody really did. Gustafson gets cross-checked, nothing called, but Mika gets high-sticked by Di Giuseppe, former Ranger, of course. 4 minutes since there was blood. Should have been a 5-on-3, but regardless, you would think, one would think 4 minutes. 4 minutes. We're not playing our best game. We have a 4-minute power play. Let's go and let's put this to bed. Fox, terrible pass. Myers gets the puck. Mika skating off to Narnia. 2-on-1. Myers snipes the puck. You can maybe blame Igor for that one, and say they should have stopped it, but at the same time, that chance cannot happen. Vancouver had another 2-on-1 after. The worst power play I've seen. But they get a 5-on-3. Too many men penalty. And what do? They actually capitalize on it, and that I could at least applaud them for. Panarin with a shot block, but Mika then to Panarin. Panarin, he fakes the shot, passes it to Fox, and Fox takes a page out of Kreider's book, being in front of the net in the right place, and he taps it home in front to make it a 2-2 game. Then Joe Micheletti did the reverse jinx. He manifested this one. Mika couldn't hit the net, but it's okay because Panarin, he puts one goal. Trocheck to Kreider. Stop. Trocheck misses the second chance. Then Fox finds Mika and he taps it home on the wide open cage to make it 3-2. Thank you, Joe Micheletti, for manifesting a Mika Zibanejad goal. We needed that more than anything. Call us Mbappe. Do I get him up on the screen? Yeah, I get him up on the screen. Why wouldn't I get him up on the screen? We need that more than anything. And that makes it 3-2. Okay. This should be easy. All we have to do is stay out of the... And Philip Hedl closes his hand on the puck, and we're short-handed. Okay, but it's okay. Mika Zibanejad, that goal gave him a bit of confidence. He does some nice work on the penalty kill, blocks some shots, had a nice clear, and then they also made some good plays at the blue line. They kill the penalty. All right. You get away with it. You kill it. Please, just shut it down and put it to bed. And Carson Soucy fires one from the point. And yeah, heavy traffic in front. Nobody clears it. And that goes in. Tied at 3. Roenick and Beauvillier, because of course Beauvillier would get a point. Because of course he would. I think that was his first point of the year too. Of course it was. That ties the game up at 3. Another one where you can maybe argue Igor could have had it since Connor Garland's not the tallest guy and that was the guy screening him. But Lindgren should probably clear him. Kreider had a wide open cage on a rebound on a backhand chance. Couldn't bury that. Miller had a nice little one-on-one play with Phil Di Giuseppe. Cole interfered with Trocheck. Nope, don't call the penalty. Both teams got chances last minute, and then that was the period. I don't even know what to say that period was outside of just chaos. Outside of chaos with that period, there was a total of 4 penalties in that period. There was pretty much no 5v5 hockey being played. But that was statistically the Rangers' best period somehow. They had 2 high danger chances. Vancouver apparently had none. But if you go to all situations, it says that they had 2, and it says the Rangers had 8. Which means the power play was cooking. Does it smell like Gerard Gallant hockey to you? Because it does to me. But we go to overtime, and this is where my heart just couldn't stop racing. Pedersen with a hit on Trocheck. And then Vancouver got momentum from there. Miller got undressed by Kuzmenko, and Igor absolutely robs him. Igor, you could argue that he should have stopped a goal or 2 in the game, but holy crap, did he steal them the second point. Because one thing, though, I will say, good coaching by Laviolette with the deploying 2 D-men out there on the defensive draw. I loved that a lot. Panarin came out on when they were going to switch there after the draw, and he almost scored. Kuzmenko gets a chance alone, fires wide. Thank God. And then Trocheck breaks up a cross-crease pass. Thank you. And then a questionable takeaway by Chris Kreider. Could have been a trip, you could argue, but it leads to a odd man rush opportunity. Kreider slows down as he's coming in with speed, finds Keandre Miller. Keandre Miller snipes it home. 4-3 win. Sigh of relief. Sigh of relief. That's all you could say. Sigh of relief. Because this was not by any stretch of the imagination the best effort that the Rangers have put together thus far. 5v5, not good hockey. Not. Special teams, they end up winning the game on special teams despite allowing the shorthanded goal. But you definitely needed better. I thought the defense was meh in this game. Like, my issue is 2 things with the defense thus far this season, and it just feels like a common thing at this point. It feels like something that's happening on a nightly basis where they get pinned in their own zone way too much, and they have to find a way to get it out because that's how they're allowing these chances. And the other issue is they're not clearing traffic in front of the net enough. Like, so a lot of these goals that they're allowing are because of tip-ins or things like that. If they could just start clearing some of the net front a bit, or it's just off-screen plays, if they could clear some of the traffic, that would really help a lot. Let Igor see the puck, and he will stop it. Because he's Igor Shesterkin. Believe it or not, he's a great goaltender. But offensively, that's where I really have an issue, where this has been a problem that not enough guys are getting it done, especially at 5v5. The second line, which we've been raving about, the French toast line, definitely had an off night. They didn't really look great. I thought Panarin looked fine, but they definitely had an off night. I mean, nobody was really good offensively. If you look at the chart, it shows it, and I think it backs it up pretty well that nobody was good enough offensively in this game at all. Nobody at all. Defensively, Gaudreau, it says, was a liability. That checks out. Bonino was a liability. That checks out. Trouba was a liability. That checks out. VC was a liability. That checks out. Hey, did you notice something about that there too? Did you notice something? That I just named the entire fourth line there that was not good enough. I know Bonino blocks shots and wins faceoffs. He's the least of my issues right now. Barkley, Gaudreau, and Jimmy VC. They do not look good. And for guys that are supposedly good two-way type forwards, or guys that could chip in a bit offensively along with bringing it defensively, Where is it? Where is it? Because Barker Goudreau still has a goose egg next to his name 8 games in. I'm not expecting him to light the lamp, but for 3.6 million, you should have a point by now, right? Right? You would think. What was their Corsi tonight? You ready for this one? Their 5v5 Corsi tonight. 7%. 7. I think that if you want a story as to why the Rangers are not the best defensively and why they allow high danger chances, look no further than the fourth line. The fourth line's not good. The fourth line is not good. I don't know what you want me to say or do. And it's not like you could throw Pitlick in there and he'll be much better. Do you call Johnny Brzezinski up? I don't think that's moving anybody. Do you... Like, I don't know what you do about this fourth line. Do you give shots to guys in the AHL? Because this play from the fourth line is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. And to be honest, it's really... I would argue that it's the biggest detriment to this team, and I would argue that it could be the reason that the Rangers look worse defensively than they actually are, because they are getting pinned in their own end, and it feeds teams way too much momentum. Way too much momentum. It's a problem. It's a problem. And I'm sorry, but Barker Goudreau, I can't find a single reason why he's being paid $3.6 million. What is he doing that stands out more than Jimmy Vesey, than Nick Bonino, than Tyler Pitlick? If anything, you could argue he's worse than all three of the other guys that I just mentioned. You could argue he's the worst forward on the roster at this point. And that's saying something with the way Blake Wheeler has played. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too critical, but I'm concerned with this fourth line. Like, again, yeah, they're blocking shots. They're doing some of those things right. But at the same time, you need them to chip in a bit, and you need them to keep other teams from scoring and getting momentum or anything like that. Like, a reason that the Islanders' fourth line was so dominant for a while, and why the Islanders, everyone said they had the best fourth line in hockey for a while. Obviously, this was before like Martin and Clutterbuck started to become a bit cooked here, but it's because those guys would go out there and grind and annoy the other teams out. They dump the puck in and they would start grinding the other teams down, making them tired out there. That's what you need from the fourth line. That's what the Rangers had in 2014. With Dorsett, with Boyle, Carcillo, all these other guys that were thrown in there at times. Dominic Moore. Don't know how I forgot to mention him, but you need guys like that on your fourth line to wear the other teams down. You're just not getting enough. I'm sorry, and I think it's hurting the team. If that hurts anyone's feelings, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not looking to hurt feelings. I'm just analyzing the game and telling you the truth. And the fact of the matter is, the fourth line's hurting this team. I'm shocked at how close this game is, according to the analytics. But at the same time, I don't think Vancouver played their best game either. Vancouver's been better than this, I would think so. But I still felt they controlled the tempo of the game a little too much for my liking. But regardless, defensively, hey, the Rangers at least kept them from getting a lot of high danger chances, but sure didn't feel that way. That's the only issue. That's the only issue here. But what was I gonna say? A new wow not good just dropped. Someone deleted it. Yeah, the person deleted it. I was going to see the wow not good because I overlooked in chat quickly and saw you said a new wow not good just dropped. Sorry to get off subject there, but yeah, if they could start, if this team could just start getting the offense going 5v5, it would change the whole dynamic. Like, there's way too much perimeter play, and that's my thing. Like, they get the offensive zone time at points in the game, but they just don't get enough scoring chances for my liking, and they need to start getting that. And it showed when the second line does not perform, they do not have enough go. They don't have other guys going, and it's a problem. Like, I highlighted that the first line needs to step up because what happens when the second line gets neutralized? Well, they did tonight, and look what happened. There was not enough 5v5 offense in this game whatsoever. So they get the time in the zone. They need to stop playing on the perimeters. They need to find the middle. They need to find the net. They need to start getting shots on goal. It is just that simple. So hopefully that could change. The defensive play, I trust it to get better, but it's really the offensive play. And I even think then the defensive play was not necessarily not necessarily the worst. To an extent. To an extent, that is. Because they were blocking shots. They kept them out of the slot at points. They won a couple one-on-ones, but I don't know. I don't know. But regardless, let's do I have anything else I want to talk about? Outside of the fact that, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, you win 4 in a row. At the end of the day, you took care of business the way that I asked personally. I said before the Nashville game, if you could go 4-2, that's really good. 5-1, even better. 6-0, that's the greatest thing. Obviously, 6-0 is out of the picture, but 4-1 right now over these past 5 games, you absolutely take it. You take it and you run, but they definitely need to be better. There's really no sugarcoating it. There's no way around it. I'm curious to see if Laviolette said anything before I get to the chat, but let's see here. Let's see. Nothing thus far, but I'll get to the chat. I'm gonna check quickly though. Let me check this. Wow, not good. I'm sure it's all over my group chat right now. Oh yeah. And then it got deleted. Oh, there's a lot of wow not good right now. Very classy of Canucks fans tonight. I'm not gonna say what exactly they're tweeting because I don't want to give these guys any sort of publicity, but let's just say they're making jokes about a certain event that happened. Certain event that happened at one point. So, yeah, make of that what you will. I do need to quickly check something else because I realized I forgot to do this and I'm really dumb. Bad YouTuber, forgot to fully set everything up for the stream. I am so unprepared tonight. You guys have no, well, you do have an idea. You guys are watching this live, unfortunately, because it's times like this where I wish I didn't do it live because then I could edit my goofy mistakes out. But the problem is I like interacting with you guys and you guys make it great for me to do it live. It's just the problem is I ruin these live shows. That's the issue. Like, you guys are great. It's all me. It's all me. I ruin the live shows completely. But there we go. That's more like it. Let's get to the chat though. We have probably, oh boy, we have a lot that I missed. I went for 34 minutes. I did not expect to go for that long. Okay, let's just try to buzz through this. Igor was locked in for OT. You're right. Ugly win, but we'll take it. I'll take the win, but we didn't deserve a point. Thank you, Igor. Just sloppy all around. Passing was awful. Yeah, the passing was brutal. The neutral zone play not good enough. It pinned way too much in their own end and completely undisciplined. Completely agree, Matt. They cannot be that undisciplined. They can't. Hopefully, Laviolette's piss. I know Vancouver is a good team, but the Rangers are better than Vancouver and are supposed to be. I can't just give a pat on the back and give the Rangers a pass and be like, oh, well, they played a good team. If you're in the playoffs, you're playing good teams. Sorry. Steal of a win, huge 2 points, and try to figure out what happened. Yeah. It was a character win. Hopefully. I wouldn't say it's okay if they lose on Monday. Go with this win streak as long as possible, Luca. Gotta. They play better with Igor bailing them out. I wouldn't say that, but literally we're the worst team in every way. Yeah, they were the worst team in every aspect of the game, but I will say Vancouver didn't play their best game either. Like, this was a very sloppy game, I think, from both teams, but and I think that's why the analytics show that it was close. I just think it was an ugly game for both teams, but the Rangers were just uglier. Yeah, Hedo was not good. Yeah, it wasn't good enough, Freak. You're right. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is that really concerns me. NYR for life is that Vancouver's coming off a back-to-back, and the Rangers didn't take. Well, they did take advantage of it technically, but they didn't. They should have had way more control of the play. It's the fourth win on our fifth game of the West Coast trip. You are overreacting. If you think I'm overreacting, then hey, so be it. I'm just analyzing the game. Like I said in the last post game, I'm just doing what I do. I'm looking at this from an objective view. I'm going to point out the good. I'm going to point out the bad. And I'm sorry that there was just more bad tonight than good. If there's more good, hey, then I'd be happy to talk about it. And I will gladly do a live stream talking about the good. But the problem is, there wasn't enough good in this game. We talked about the good in the Buffalo win, talked about the good in the Arizona win. There just wasn't enough good in this game. It's just the facts. Yeah, this is the main thing, Matt, where if they play like this against the Avs, Devils, Stars, or Knights, they get killed. Yeah, Kane would be a good fit. Because then you could move guys down to the fourth line too, and maybe it would help. Because I think Will Coley's been great. Like, I think, or not necessarily great, but I think he's been like a good NHLer and a guy that could be a very good bottom six piece. And he's been better than every single guy on that fourth line. Like, imagine he was playing on the fourth line. I think he'd be a perfect fit there. At some point, they got to get him to kill penalties. Yeah, this was so close to being a disaster. They forgot their structure and fell apart for large parts of the game. You're right. You're not wrong at all. Petrano would be nice too. You guys are going crazy in the chat tonight. I really do appreciate it. And I'm sorry if I'm skipping your comment. I just need to. I need to go through. I'm trying to just fly through. I'm trying to fly through and read like stuff that just isn't repetitive, because a lot of people are saying get Kane, get Vetrano. Found a way to win. Thank you, Igor, and special teams. Really sloppy game though, but 2 points. Logan, that's the main takeaway that I'm with you on. They need to be better, but you take the 2 points and you run. And Igor stole the show. Games like this will happen, like I said, but they need to. They definitely need to be better. Chicago's so strong on the puck, but that line never gets extended zone time. I think they get extended zone time. I just don't think that they do enough with it. I think that's the issue. Like, there's too much play happening on the outside, and nobody gets to the middle of the ice there on that line. And Meek isn't just not firing pucks the way he needs to. Kreider needs to get in front of the net, and Kakko does the work along the boards. That is what would make the line work, but we're just not seeing it yet. Tony, I'm with you on that. That no team is perfect every night. Uh, when you win games that you thought you are not perfect in, you are a good team. I mean, yeah, it's just that I'm pointing out, like I said, what they need to be better at, and that if they do play like this consistently, it's not going to be a recipe for success. And that's what it was under Gerard Gallant. But I'm not going to sit here and complain and say that this team, the sky's falling. And I'm not saying here either that the season is done. All I'm saying is that there were areas they weren't good in tonight. They need to be better. You move on, and you just hope this doesn't snowball into something consistent, like I said. I don't care if people say that the refs are the reason the Rangers won this game, because the refs sucked for both teams tonight. They sucked. And I agree that the Kreider, they could have called a penalty on Kreider there at the end. But at the same time, they missed a interference towards the end of the third period, or at some point in the period. Trocheck got interfered with. They didn't call that. Gustafsson got cross-checked at one point. They didn't call that. What was the other one too? I mean, the Trouba call you could say was soft, but they made up for it, so I can't be too mad. And then what was it? Oh yeah, and then the Rangers allowed a shorthanded goal too. So it's like, outside of that, the two missed calls there, the Rangers allowed a shorthanded goal. You should say that shouldn't have happened. Yeah, the passing was sloppy. Yeah, Nick, I agree. Vegas lost to Chicago. You have games like this, can't expect perfection, especially in a road trip. I agree. I agree. I'm not expecting perfection. I'm just, like I said, I'm just doing what I do every night, or every game, where pointing out the good, pointing out the bad. If there's more bad than good, I'll say it. If there's more good than bad, I will talk about it. It's just whatever the way it is. Um, let's see. I I mean, I don't know if I'd agree completely with that, Chris. Like, if you told me that after the first period that Vancouver didn't dictate the play, fine. But I felt that in the second period, starting then, I thought they really like controlled the play more in the game, and they forced uh they forced the Rangers in their own end way too much. And yeah, the 5v5 chances, they just couldn't get them, which, credit to Vancouver in that regard, that they had some good defense at points. But at the same time, the Rangers, this has been an issue now where they're just not creating enough 5v5. But I think that they controlled the play at points in this game, in that second period especially. I could see that NYR for life, Benino being a big piece of for the Rangers down the road in the playoffs. Trocheck was the one undressed by Kuzmenko. Who did I say got undressed? Who was it? Why did I say it was Miller? That was my Sam Rosen moment. Excuse me. That was Trocheck. I apologize. I really do. I don't know why I said that was Miller. Huh. Interesting. Oh, that's what it was. Okay. Okay. Yeah. No, that's what it was. I wrote Trocheck, but I said Miller because of JT Miller. I need to be more specific next time writing my notes. I do. Yeah, I think it was a missed trip. I'm not going to deny it. I'm not going to be biased. I think it was, but I think that it. I completely think it was a missed trip. But at the same time, the refs missed a couple of calls against Vancouver, like that interference, like that cross check. You know? Oh, I'm definitely hard on myself. That's my biggest issue, Steven. But I somehow caught up on the chat. There's still 32 of you guys. I'm not gonna lie, this was my worst performance too of the season thus far when it comes to post games. I'll be honest with you guys. I was very off tonight. I don't know if it's because the game had me in a head spin or what, but that was just a whirlwind of emotions, and that was just an insane game. I'm sorry that even I was off in this game, but hey, you know what? It is what it is. Apparently, we all have our off nights anyway, so it is what it is. I could have been better, but at the same time, I'm not going to be too mad at myself because it's 2 a.m. and this West Coast trip is making me lose my mind. I am so thankful that we're back to regular start times tomorrow now at this point because it's already Sunday. Get some football today, too. Nice. Get some football to inevitably lose my mind as well. Vetrano cap it 3.6, not 5.5. I don't know what you're referring to there. Oh, someone said something about Vetrano. I think Vetrano's making 3 million. I don't even think he's making that much. I think he's actually at like 3 million. Is he not? Let's see. No, it is 3.6. You're dead on. Thank you, Bruce. That really means a lot. I appreciate that a ton. That you like my passion and everything. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I need to see. Now I want to look. Did Laviolette? Where are the quotes from Laviolette? How are there no quotes on Twitter? Is it just all in the YouTube video and none of the reporters put quotes up? Yeah, okay. The post game is up. It looks like. Or is it up for Laviolette? Is it? Yeah, it's up for Laviolette, but there's just no quotes. It's only 3 minutes. I guess I'll have to wait until after I stream to watch it. But regardless, this is definitely gonna be a challenge. The Rangers are gonna have to be better, and I'm glad if that's the case that Laviolette shares the same thoughts. Then I'm very comfortable, and I could go to sleep at night comfortably because I know he'll end up having this team all sorted out. Go get the win in Winnipeg on Monday if you can, and then you got a big, tall order here with Carolina, Minnesota, Detroit, Minnesota, Columbus, and then you have a weird 5 days off, which your boy is going to be out of town during that time because why not get out of town when I can for mid-season? That's a rarity here. But yeah, November's going to be chaotic. November's going to be chaos. But that is going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in late night here with me. Don't forget to leave a like on your way out. Can I talk? I really would appreciate that. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload or go live next on the channel. and I will see you guys in the next one. Cardiac Rangers do it again, but we love them anyway. Let's go, Rangers.